sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. Welcome and hello. Andrew David, this is Blake Newbar's partner program, the High Performance Call. So we talk about a lot of different stuff on these calls. What I wanted to do today is talk about habits and increasing your performance, becoming a high performer, increasing your level of success based on your habits. Now, I talk a lot, there's a lot of schools of thought when it comes to habits and it comes to skill set. There's, self-awareness tests that I've had to do, the StrengthsFinder 2.0, we just talked about. There's, the Myers-Briggs, there's the Kolbe, there's all of these other things. There's certain people like Dan Sullivan, who I've talked about from Strategic Coach, that is very much, only focus on your strengths. Don't worry about your weaknesses, because they're just going to slow you down. If you spend all your time working on your weaknesses, then all you have is some, mediocre, slightly strong weaknesses and then mediocre strengths, because you're not actively working on those strengths. And other people say, no, you've got to develop out these skills. My thought truly is, like, you need to spend extra time on your strengths, figure out what you're good at, go all in on those. If you can, outsource the things that you're not good at. That being said, there are certain skills or certain activities that you've just got to do, whether you like to do them or not, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're good at them, but some things you just have to take into consideration and get done. So I bring this up because the book I wanted to talk about today is this one. It's called High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. So some of you guys, show of hands that are on screen. Anybody heard of Brendon Burchard? A few of you? Okay, good. Oh, good. Brendon is fantastic, right? If you're in the coaching space in any way, Brendon is awesome. You should read his very first book was Life's Golden Ticket, which is a great book. Millionaire Messenger is an amazing book as well. I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple of times where he was a speaker. I had a chance to get to a couple of masterminds, small masterminds, where he was partaking as a participant as well. And Brendon is one of those, if you've seen any of his videos, so some of you guys have seen his videos and he just seems like he's intense, right? He's there and he is that intense and that present in real life. So like standing and talking to him, it's the full eye contact, and he's engaged and he's connected and he's listening. Like, he is soaking up not just your words, but your energy, right? He's there in a very positive way, and it's fantastic. And I remember one of the first times that I met him, it prepped me for like the second and third time. But the first time that I met him, I was having that conversation. It was during a time that I was struggling. And I know I look back on that time, and, I was not taking care of myself physically, emotionally, mentally. I was kind of out of whack. It was close to the end of my marriage. There were all sorts of things going wrong. And so I was, you go through life, and I had kind of that shield up, and I was, but I'm standing there in front of this guy, and I could feel him like peeling back those layers. And it's like he just knew. And it almost felt like you're standing there like Emperor's New Clothes kind of thing, right? I'm standing before this guy just naked, and he's in it, but he's smiling, and he's giving me the attention, and kind of, I don't remember exactly what he said. I don't remember anything he said, but I remember how intense that moment was, and walking away feeling almost empowered despite how vulnerable I felt in that moment, and thinking that's some of what I want to give people when I engage. And that's where I want to get myself to. And I want to get as well to the point where I can stand here and have this conversation with a level of comfort that I'm living my best life, that I'm doing all I can to be my best self, right? And so that kind of set me on this pathway of like, I want to figure out what this guy does. And now, not only is he a brilliant marketer, he's absolutely amazing in his marketing. He is transparent and authentic and real in all the stuff that he does. And his personal development side that he does is not just, hey, here's how you feel good, but it's backed by, surveys that he's done with highly successful people and research that he's done with those individuals and putting in the time and the effort. And so in High Performance Habits, one of the things that he talks about are these elements, these habits that high performers live by. things that they do, whether they're great at them or not, they find a way to develop out these habits. And so I wanted to touch on some of these habits with you guys. Is that okay with everybody? That's what I want to share. So a lot of Brendan's books, you can go to his website if you look it up. I don't know if he still does this. He used to allow you to get a lot of his books just for the price of shipping. Obviously, it would then put you into his sales funnel. And so he'd offer other cool stuff. And a lot of the cool stuff is pretty amazing. I'm not advocating you go out and buy anything. I'm not an affiliate with Brendan. It is totally up to you, okay, of your own free will and choice if you decide to go and purchase everything. But I think he's pretty great. I think I've got all of his books, Motivation Manifesto and everything else. Anyway, let's kind of dive into a handful of these high performance habits. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one today because there's a lot of these here and it's a lot to unpack, but I want to talk about seeking clarity, generating energy, a couple of these. So here's the thing. This is an image directly out of his book. So you'll find it in there. You can find videos talking about high performance habits that go more in depth. Seeking clarity. I talk to you guys about this a lot, and I try and get you to be clear on what your goals are. He talks here, high performers are clear on their intentions for themselves, their social world, their skills, and their service to others. They know what the hell they're going after and what they're trying to accomplish. If you are here simply saying, I want to be better, I want things to go well, I want to change, I want to do hopefully things work out, I'm really going to give it my best shot. There's no clarity there. Where are you going? Why are you getting there? Who's going to be affected? What can you do socially? And maybe socially simply means your family, those that are around you. Are your efforts going to affect other people's lives in a positive way? It may go beyond just your family. Some of you guys are already in a position where you're coaching, you're training other people. And it's important to be engaged in that method as well, right? Like you're giving your all to them, and in turn it betters you. Some of you are in the process of training other coaches and trainers. If you guys are parents, even if the kids are older, you're still doing that. You still have value to give there. So you're clear. This is the legacy I'm trying to leave behind. So first aspect of clarity is knowing yourself. So Brendan talks about being more intentional about who you want to become. Have vision beyond your current circumstances. This is a struggle for a lot of us. Well, this is how much money I make right now. This is how much is in the bank. This is how I feel. This is how my body feels. And it's hard for us to look past that. You have to look at your best future self and start acting like that person today. Well, Andrew, how do I act like that person today? If that's not me, I feel like that's inauthentic. It's dishonest. That's not who I am. You cannot become a better person if you cannot imagine it. And you can absolutely start acting like a better person despite not yet having those habits. I can be a better person to my family, right? Or to friends. I can be more responsible starting today, even if that hasn't been the case in the past. I can be an action taker. I can be someone that doesn't procrastinate. Someone that gets stuff done when I say I'm going to get it done. Okay. David, you can get it from his website or on Amazon. All of his stuff pretty much is on Amazon as well. All right. Next, social. Brendan writes, high performers have clear intentions about how they want to treat other people. Don't get this twisted. Social is not simply how other people perceive you. This isn't simply about what other people think of you. This is about how you treat others. This isn't, well, this is how I'm going to treat them when they do X. Becoming a high performer doesn't mean it's conditional. In every situation that matters, they know who they want to be and how they want to interact with others. Always find a way to be that example. Next, skills. You got to know what skills and experiences you need to develop in order to be more successful in the future. Identifying where you want to go and who you want to be will allow you to identify the skills that need to be developed to get there. By identifying the skills required to excel, you can then be intentional about learning, about practicing, and reflecting on those skills. And over time, you'll develop the expertise necessary to be an excellent performer. Now he's talking about being a high performer here, right? Next, we have service. Finally, high performers care deeply about the positive impact they will make for others, for their broader community. They seek to clarify whom they are serving and what those people need in order to deliver their contributions with heart and elegance. Guys, if you have a pen and paper, write seek clarity. Underneath that, I want you to write self, social, skills, and service. 4 S's, self, social, skills, and service. I want you to think about how clear you are on those elements. Who is your future best self? And are you clear on that? Socially, how are you, your intentions, and how are you treating others, and how should you be treating others? How do you want to interact? What skills are going to be important, and who are you going to serve? So under seek clarity, you're going to write self, social, skills, and service. I want you to spend some time today thinking about those. Now, performance necessity. Again, these elements, these pictures are inside the high performance habits. I'll give you guys these slides here a little bit later on in the Skype group. So identity, obsession, social duty, urgency. All right. A couple of cool quotes. The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. Have long-term success as a coach or in any position of leadership, you have to be obsessed in some way. I talked about this the other day, people bringing up average. So I'm going to preface this next statement. If you are searching for average, that's okay. That's your call. Okay. There's nothing wrong with average. That's up to you. Now I know there's some, so if that's you, then don't worry about listening to this next comment. Okay. If you're okay with being average, then go ahead and close your ears and don't pay attention. Now, for those of you saying, there's no way in hell I want to be average. Average sucks, right? Let everybody else be average, because the average person in the world reads a book a year. The average person in the world is not healthy. If you're in the US, I'm sorry, the average person is obese. The average person is not healthy in any way. Their finances are out of whack. Everything else is wrong. If you're looking to be average, go be average. If you don't, then you need to be obsessed with being better. Be a little crazy. Allow people to tell you you're a little bit nuts. Understand that. I love this quote by Vince. I'm going to show it to you again. I'll give you these slides so you can read through it. But guys, the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field. It's not their willingness to be average. It's a commitment to excellence. Do you want your kids to look at you and say, you know what? They may not have always achieved everything that they went after, but damn, were they committed to doing everything they could to be excellent. No matter what they undertook, they were committed. And you know, I think my dad, I think my mom, I think James, I think they were a little obsessed. They were a little crazy with it. They wanted to find a way to be better no matter what. Guys, that should be your identity, a personal standard of excellence. You're the only one that can commit to that. Okay, so high performers often feel the necessity to perform well out of a sense of duty, not because others expect it, not because others are pressuring you, because you have a duty to someone else or something beyond yourself. Someone is counting on you. Okay. Now, how is this different than dependence or codependence? This idea that the only way that so-and-so is going to be okay is if I do X, right? They need to be better, and so I'm going to help them be better. You know, the lighthouse isn't going out into the harbor and bringing the boats in. It's a guiding light. And that's what you need to do. And occasionally, yes, occasionally you reach down and you help lift. Right? But this is very much the teach a man to fish versus giving him a fish. We all understand that analogy, yes? Show someone the example, give them the skills, allow them to learn with the understanding, guys, and this is something that's very hard. Not everybody's going to do it. Some of you guys are personal trainers. Some of you guys have been coaches. Some of you guys have been managers. Some of it's just because you've been a parent. Do your kids always listen to your advice? Hey, Don't put your hand on the stove. You're going to get burned. I wonder what that red feels like. And some people will do that. And you have to, unfortunately, allow them. There's only so much you can do, but you can be committed to excellence. You can be obsessed with that and being that example, right? And recognize that living your life to your highest potential will benefit others directly and indirectly. Okay, so there is, guys, there's a lot more in here, and I want to go through some of it with you maybe tomorrow along with our Q&A. So I'm not going to dive too much into it right now. Hop onto YouTube, look up the book High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Here it is one more time. But what I told you a minute ago, so we've got was it David that put it in here? Underneath self, again, social skills, service. Hold on. Under identity is what we're doing, right? Seek clarity, and we want to be clear with self, social, skills, and service. So kind of write out, identify who it is, try to get clear on who you're trying to be and how you want to interact in those ways and what skills you think are going to be most important. That'll be helpful as we wrap up this tomorrow. I don't want to make this a 45-minute call. I think if you unpack some of the stuff that I talked about today, I think it'd be really helpful. Spend about 5-10 minutes writing this stuff out, and then we'll dive into it tomorrow. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Congratulations on taking action, being here. Now just get shit done. Take what I'm giving you and work on it in your life. I promise I'm actively doing it myself, working on things and trying to improve. So I love seeing you guys doing the same thing. On that note, go out, be amazing, find a way, as always, rise from the ashes, fly like the phoenixes that you are. Tomorrow we will be here at noon and we'll dive in. We'll get the rest of this wrapped up. Take care, everybody. I will talk with you soon. Bye, guys. Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.